What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for another daily news show. And did we make a mistake by not signing Kolo Muani? That's kind of the talk already out there. And it's out there because of the simple reason that Openda and Jonathan David are not playing well early, not a lot of minutes. But the worrying thing is what Tudor said, and it's we need to change formation to basically help these players out there. And we didn't need to change formation when it came to Kolo Muani, to be honest, because he played for Tudor. We played in a different setup, but we knew it worked, and Kolo Muani did well. He was effective. And now the questions arise, maybe questions we had at the start of the summer, and the media is putting it out there just because Tudor came out and said, well, to play these guys, we need a different setup, so that is slightly worrying. So the media has a valid point to pose this question, and that's what we're going to talk about. But before we get into it, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, because there's also other updates as well. Okay, so the Kolo Muani saga, everybody knows how it went. Everybody was, I think, not like most of the people were disappointed how it ended, that he didn't end up joining us. He's not really playing much at Tottenham right now. Maybe it's fitness or whatever you want to call it. Openda just joined. Jonathan David just joined. Jonathan David joined regardless. Let's assume that, no matter what's going to happen with Kolo Muani, because we tried to sign Kolo Muani until basically deadline day. But Openda came in. And I think that's kind of the issue, quote unquote. When it comes to Kolo Muani, I think, I prefer Kolo Muani in this squad. I'm not going to hide that. That doesn't mean I give up on players like Openda and Jonathan David. That's crazy talk this early. I'm not a big Openda fan. I was never a big Openda fan, when he played in the Belgian league, when he went to Leipzig, and not to suggest, that he's a bad player, that he can do absolutely nothing. But he's a very specific profile, a bit with Conceição, where I'm like, if Conceição doesn't get the space, he will have a good game maybe once a month, maybe. That's the players, that's the profiles they have, and we need to create space. We're not good at doing that, and in Serie A it's even more difficult. So when I look at Openda, I was like, I will be stunned if it works out at Juve for Openda to the level it worked out at Leipzig for Openda. I will be absolutely shocked, because at that point the league has changed, or we found a formula to get, to create space against any team in Serie A, even though they set up with low blocks, when they face us, So that's what was my issue with Openda, because he needs that to perform well. He needs that to shine, to put up stats, to contribute, to make a difference, etc. So when the price tag came out, I was like, wow, that's too much money for a player like Openda, in my opinion. And I got called crazy, or he's worth that. Look at the Bundesliga. I'm like, I'm not saying the Bundesliga is a farmers league. I'm not that person, but it's a different type of league, and it suits him extremely well. And I don't think he suits the Serie A. And right now, we do need to change formation. And Tudor said that. So you didn't need to do that with Kolo Muani. That was the point. Now, if the price tag for Kolo Muani was 60 million, obviously, but Tottenham didn't have that deal. They didn't got that deal, So that, I think, is a part where I think a lot of people are confused as of why did we mess this one up, because it was kind of a slam dunk in terms of he wants to play for us. We know what he can offer. He delivered, and he's probably going to deliver again, because, well, he did that last season. He did that last season, and that's a player who actually really wanted to be here, and he risked it all, and now ended up at freaking Tottenham, on loan again. I don't think he's pissed. I think he's not like, Tottenham, whatever, but I don't think he's happy with the situation. I think he'd rather play for us. I think that's well documented. I think nobody can deny that. And I think we missed out on that part. Now he's not here, and it's Tudor who's going to need to figure it out. That's why I'm a bit confused as of, is this really a Tudor profile / signing, or more a Comoli / club signing, where it's like, we're not going to give you these players because at one point we might need to move on from you, Tudor, at least we have a profile out there that, has proven to do damage, at a high level. So whoever comes in can work with that player. It feels more like that. That's not to say that Tudor will not figure it out with Openda or Jonathan David. I don't know. Like, time will tell. Is he gonna switch things up? Are they just gonna fit in regardless? We don't know. What we do know is the Kolo Muani thing worked and it fitted. It fitted well enough for him to contribute to an extent where I think everybody was shocked, where it was like, wow, that's kind of out of the blue, come in January, end of January, basically, and do that, that was unheard of, in our situation. I think everybody was shocked, and now you end up in a situation where there's a lot of unknowns, what is Openda, what he's gonna offer us, in this setup, and Tudor is probably sitting there thinking, I need to figure this out. I need to find answers quickly because I have two players on the team in this case, Openda and Jonathan David, who, I mean, I need to use them. I need to use them because I have them out there, and I cannot just go out the season with Vlahovic and chucking in Jonathan David from time to time, and maybe getting him a goal from time to time. Now, the difficult part is you have Conceição, you have Yildiz, and you have Zegrova. How are you going to change that? It's all good to talk about a formation. But like, what formation change is going to suit Jonathan David and Openda, but at the same time not take away of how you're allowing Yildiz to play, and on the other side, Conceição / Zegrova. That's the biggest question mark, and that goes back to what people might say, we shouldn't have invested that much money in Openda, David, and Zegrova, and maybe we should have used that money for the midfielder more so than anything else. And that is the video I did this morning. Go check that out. When we obviously need a midfielder, and I think in January, if we're gonna do any business, it's going to be a midfielder. But then it goes back to this point where it's like, did we need all those profiles? Is this a panic thing? Is it too much? Is it overkill? Whatever. The bottom line is Tudor has these players right now, and he's gonna need to figure it out, and at one point he's gonna need to change the formation. Otherwise, some of these players are just not, it's just gonna fail, period. You're gonna call them a failure at the end of the season, whether it's because of the player itself or the way we want to play. The conclusion will be, well, it failed. And you're all gonna look at Komoli and it all be, look, was that really needed? Is that the profile? Those are profiles that this team needed, that Tudor needed, so it's going to be interesting. It's not easy. It's not an easy situation for Tudor, but he's gonna need to figure it out because it will get blown out. It will be a big talking point if things go south and these players do not contribute during the period it's going south. So in the comment sections, let me know what you think Tudor should be doing to get all these players going and keep them all happy. And yeah, we will discuss it in the comments. Ciao.